camera. It's just not good. But it's something. It's there. Alright, that's not bad. It's almost a little fast there now, but you get the idea on how you can get it and change it. First thing we're going to need is a player of some type. It really doesn't matter. I'm just going to use first person because it's fast and easy to set up. And drag him over here somewhere. There he is. And take the camera. Make sure the camera's tagged main camera. I deleted the camera, so I had to put a new one in. When you put a new one in, it's not tagged properly, and that's a very important tag. So I'm just going to move that up. And there we go. I am going to add a character controller, and I'm going to add I'm going to get rid of the capsule, and I'm going to add a FSM. Super quick, just going to do get axis vector. We want a mouse look too, and we want a simple move. Alright, so mouse look is going to be based on the camera, and I'm going to just bring these down to like a 3, -3, and we need a vector, and we need a simple move which can move to the vector, space self, maybe at a 4 speed, move that to the bottom. The axis vector, I want it to be relative to the camera. There we go. We should now have a very, very basic first person controller running around. Just like that. Everything's all peachy keen. So now that we've got a controller, we need a way to do hacking. So the first thing we're going to want to do is probably add a canvas and do, well, we'll just add a canvas for now. And there's scale for screen size. Now it's good. And we want, we're going to want a name tag of some type. So for example, let's put, I wonder if I have any camera models. Let me see. No, just actual camera. Oh, I have a security camera. I have those weird things. I don't know what the hell that thing is, what it's used for, but it's in one of the assets, so I am using it. Let's just stick it over here. And I don't need any of this crap. Don't need the sensors. Don't need spotlight. The mesh we'll need. Mesh is the only thing we actually kind of need. Okay, so now we have a camera sitting there. Our player is there, camera's here. Okay, cool. Add a sphere collider. Now we're going to need make that half decent big. Now these things need a layer, right? Let's add a layer. We'll call this hacking. And this guy is going to be on hacking. Don't worry about that. And for now, I'm going to prefab him just like that. So we have a little folder called WatchDog, stuff him in there. Plain and simple. Alright, so the next thing we need is we need a FSM, a screen display, where all we're going to do is raycast. I'm going to use raycast 2. And I want to raycast from the camera. We want to go in the Z direction, self space, distance, go a little farther I suppose. I don't want to use, yes, actually I do want to use the hit events. So we have a hit event, see object, and this is our scene object, or the object we have seen. We are going to use a layer mask. We only want to hit hacking. That is it. And we have scene object, and I'm going to duplicate this and paste it over here. And now I want a away from object. So there, now we're going away from the object. The other thing I want is I want a, just to be on the safe side, new scene object, right? And then we're going to key object compare, and if the scene object is not the new scene object, if they're not equal, then move away from the object. And you know, make that even safer, let's put a next frame event involved in there. All right, just like that. So if we just watch this FSM now, stuff this over here, shrink this side down. There we go. Let's go full screen, hit play. But smart, I would disable my mouse and play. All right, so we're sitting here and we can see now, this is where it's going to be super sensitive. See, like it's like, oh, there it is. But just to move a slightly bit over, you lose it. So how do we fix that? Well, raycast works, but as you see, like, you got to be pretty pinpoint. Personally, I like spherecast. It's the same thing, but it's got thickness to it. All right, so we're going to spherecast from the camera. Radius, probably even take, no, you don't want to go too crazy. We'll try 1.5. But same idea, exact same setup. And we have the scene object, and we have every frame, and we have scene, yeah, there we go. I'll get rid of that. All right, and then I can do that same thing, replace it here, only we're going to be away from object, or no, there we go. That makes more sense. And this is the new scene object on this one, and I'm going to take this radius down a bit. No, maybe I won't. All right, so the other thing I think I'll do, just quickly going to go like this, and let's set the cursor. Let's tell it to lock and hide. I totally forgot to bring that FSM up. So let's fix that. Let's go in here, pop this up, make sure we're not covering half that's over into the half of the screen marked. All right, so now we have rapid firing. So we need to fix that. But if I move away, it goes, I mean, distance wise, for when it kicks on. It can go a little bigger, I think. Alright, so let's go take this up to 2. And it's a little odd that it was flickering like that though. We're only seeing that one layer. Because this guy, I don't see how they would not be equal. I mean, they are equal. Even look at the variables; they're exactly equal. Oh, and now it's working apparently. I mean, I guess we really don't need it anyways. Oh, I'll just get rid of it. Screw it. Anyway, so there is, now we can see something, we cannot see something. So, what does that let us do? That allows us, why do I have this here? Get rid of that. We have, what we need is, let's make a little panel. We need to make some sort of nameplate or something. Right, so probably, well, we'll check its size. We'll see how that size is. Of, say, 250 by 100. Kind of give it more of a higher text style looking color, maybe. Transparency is probably fine on it. And let's give it a text object, or Text Mesh Pro if you have it. Let's go here, increase this font, stick that there. I wonder if we have a digital like style font maybe. Jesus, what the hell? Some of these fonts are super weird sizes, I guess. Oh, it keeps changing my font size on me. Well, that's weird. I don't think I really have a digital text. I mean, yeah, this one's the one that keeps changing the font. Oh, it's not even really a font. I think maybe that one's going to be our best bet. So let's just go like this, bring this down. Could almost just best fit it. And I'm going to slide it over just a tiny bit. We're going to call this one the name. And what else do we need? You know, we can put some graphics in there, and let's put a image. Something like that. And I'm going to give it a circle of some type. And I'm going to duplicate that actually and make it a child, and this one we're going to give it some color, but I'm going to make it slightly smaller. Something like that. I'll make this one green. All right, and then inside this one, let's put a text right in the middle. H2 hack. And and I'm going to expand that. And let's fix it up so it looks a little nicer. Change this to our bebes. Okay. So, the other thing we want is this guy here is going to be filled. And he's going to be radial. There we go. Whoop, bing. Okay. Just like that. So he's going to be our filler. Dun dun dun. So these guys I am going to raycast off of these things. I don't want these things getting in the way. Actually, I don't want any of these getting in the way anywhere. None of this stuff needs to get in the way. We're not clicking on any of it. Alright, so now we have a name tag. And we can take this and we're going to bring it over here and prefab it and call it good. Boop. And now, if we go over to our security camera, we can give this thing an FSM and we'll call this data. And it's going to have a variable called a string. And this is going to be its name. And we'll put this in the inspector so we can see it. And you can have this thing run events too, I guess. Call that save, bring it over here. And let's click on our camera, give it a name, call it broken cam. All right, so now screen display. So here we have seen an object, we have not seen an object. You know what, I'm going to duplicate this guy. I'm going to paste him over here so we have another next frame. Another state we can do something in. So if we are here, what we want to do is we want to, as we come up here, we want to get position. Get position of the scene object. So this is the scene vector. And now we want to world to screen space point, sorry, and the camera, well, we're going to be using our camera. Oh, and we're taking that and we're coming out with a screen vector. Make sure to put the get position above that or you're going to have some issues. Right, and now we wish to create we are going to create a name tag where the parent can be the canvas. Spawn point none. Position is going to be at the screen vector, and the stored object is going to be we're going to call it our tag. Get child. We need, well, I guess we need a couple of those, but we only need one of those right now. And we're going to get the child, we're going to bring it down here, and we're going to stuff it down underneath the game, create the game object, tag, and the child name is, name, I think. We're going to store that as name object. All right, next thing we want to do is get FSM string, because we just happen to have this beautiful, actually this can actually stay up there, so think of it, under this guy has an FSM named data with a name. We can store that into object name. This isn't that guy though, he is scene object. Now we come down here and we have get child named object. We can now UI text Turks text set text, move him all the way to the freaking bottom, because now we're using name object, and we're going to use object name. It's just that simple. Now when we move away, we need to destroy it. Destroy object, the scene object. Just freaking destroy it. Screw it, little bastard. All right. So now, as you see, we should be able to. Now we should add a vector offset to that, because it's going to be like right on the camera, which, you know, whatever. But okay, now what do we have? Some crazy shit going on here. So we want this and this. Copy those, paste them in here, and set position while we're in this state of the tag world every frame to the screen position. Now, that said, that should be a little better in that aspect. All right, because now we come up and we should have. Now, why aren't we destroying it? Did I destroy the wrong object? Is that what the issue is here? Right, because we're sphere casting, which means we came in through here, which means we should have destroyed the scene object, but I can see it. I can see it right there, it's not destroyed. So, let's see what happened. So we have object name, broken cam, scene object is none. Oh, I did destroy the wrong object. That is exactly what happened. We need to destroy the tag, that thing we made. We're not trying to destroy part of the camera, we're trying to destroy the tag we made. Right? There we go. Now, like I said though, you might want to give it a bit of an offset, right? Or get into here and you see how this guy's here. You know, hold down Shift and stick this in the corner. Alt, get down there. All of you stay down there. I'm going to put his anchor point in that corner. So now when we tell him to go to that position, he's not trying to put the middle of himself in that position. He's trying to put the corner of himself in that position. So it kind of get a free kind of offset to it. Right, now we can press and hold H to hack. Then we need to move the camera up. So let's come out of here and go over here and let's go Screen display. How do we want to do this part? We need another FSM. Hacking. And here, if we get key down, God damn it. That's the key you want. I'll tell you. H, because we've already set it in our text. That's going to be called hack. And we're going to hack. We're going to come over here, and then what are we going to do? We are going to get FSM game object. And it's going to be from screen display, the scene object, our object, and then we want to is null. So our object, if it's null, nothing to hack. If there's something there, there's something there. All right, so now nothing to hack and something there. Nothing to hack goes over there, something over here goes over here. Super quick, just quick little check. Now, if that's the case, now we need to get child. And we have of our object, the child's name, I think I called it filler. So we'll call it filler in here too, why not? And when we come into here, the other thing we want to do is set float value. This is going to be our time, and it's going to go to 0, and I'm going to move it right to the top. Up there. Okay, and over here now what we're going to do is we want to float add. Now this does, we're going to take time and we're going to add every frame per second. So we could say, let's add, how long do we want to hack for, right? Maybe 2 seconds, right? We can go 0.5. It's going to take us 2 seconds to get up to 1. Now while we get there, let's set slider value. Move to the bottom. Specific game object. Filler. Time. Every frame. Alright, cool. So it's going. Now, as that goes, get key. I'm just going to use get key, not get key down this time. And I want a bool test, not FSM bool test. I want just a regular bool test this time. So we want to get key. The key is going to be H again. Right, this is our H key, every frame. And we're going to test H, and if it's false, we're going to stop. All right, so if we're going to stop, we're going to come over here, and we are going to set slider value. Oops. Of filler to 0. Call it good. The other thing we want to do is now we also want a float compare, and we're going to take time, and if it's 1, if it's equal, we are complete. If it's greater, we are complete. All right, and we'll come over here. So if you want to see how that kind of works, let's take a quick little look-see. So we go into our little game here, and we, I don't know if you see it. Oh, there it is. Now if I push H, oh, it's not I totally messed that up. Totally messed that up. You guys are probably watching that being like, what the hell is this guy doing? Totally, it's not a slider. What am I thinking? It's an image. We're just doing a fill amount. Lord, 100, eh? Can't believe I did that. Copy that. Actually, I don't know why I used a variable over there. Paste before. This one's every frame. This one's not every frame, and it goes to 0. Okay. That should actually work now, other than just, pretend like we have a slider we don't have, and we're going to change its values. Right, so now, uh-oh. Unless its name actually isn't filler. I didn't even check that. So here's hacking, right? So if I push H and I'm not looking at anything, see how it just says, you know what, screw it. You're not actually doing anything, so we're just going to reset the logic. But if you're looking at it, if you press and hold, so I'm going to press that, control, nope. Damn it. Well, I tried. So here we have filler, yeah. We don't actually have a object named filler. What the hell did I name it then? I could have sworn I called it filler. Oh, it is called filler. Filler, child of tag. Should I give it? No, I shouldn't have to give it a fucking tag. I'll tell it what's up. It doesn't tell me, I tell it. So we get the scene object, we compare. We come over here, we get the child of our object. Wait. Oh, we're under hacking. Lord, thundering. Oh wait, no, that's right. Yeah, because we come over here and we say, we create an object called tag. We get, yeah, so that's the one we want, is tag. Well, see there, I messed that up. So we want to come over here and we want, oh yeah, because we want the scene object, right? we do want that, because that's what we actually want to compare. But over here, I guess over here is a little different. So right, we have the tag, and we can use this as the created tag, and then we want the child of the created tag, right? That's the one that has the filler on it. Lose my head if it weren't attached, but I tell you. All right, so we come over here, we take a look at that, and we start pushing this, and it fills, and it's done, right? So now what does that tell you? Well, that can tell you a few different things. So first thing is, if you want to hack something, then and we want to move there, then we should be, we need to tell this thing more or less to more or less stop, right? Other than if we want to use this while we're in our hacking phase, right? So let's just go like this. Let's give this a hacked, and then from hacking, when we get to here, let's send event and to ourselves is fine. God damn it. And nope. Screen display and hacked. The other thing we're going to want to do, right, is up here. This is our little movement. I can probably change this thing to movement. Is we're going to want a also a custom event. I'll use hacked as well in here. Where's my H's? H hacked. And from here, we are going to do something a little different, but you'll see. So we're going to paste, and now we're going to the move, and we're doing hacked. All right, which will disrupt that whole thing. Now, with that said, we might want what are we going to want to do? So we do that. Then we need a reference to our own camera. And now what we want to do, let's just come over here and start a new state for this, is we want to get position and get 2 of those. And probably rotation as well. We'll start with position for now. So we're going to get position of our object, which is the destination, and we're going to get the position of our camera, which is the camera position. And that one can be every frame, and we want to vector 3 interpolate, move to the bottom, and we're going to go from camera position to destination, and we could do this I don't know, I think 1 second's probably good enough, and we're going to have a new vector, and we're just going to call this one set vector. And then we want to set position, move this to the bottom of the camera to set vector space world every frame. And that should give us, now I don't think it's going to do the rotation, so we have to do the rotation as well, but that's not a big deal. It's almost literally the exact same method. All right, so we come along, we see this, press and we hold, and there we go. So that's kind of stage 1 of that. So yeah, with the rotation now, all we have to do is literally the same thing, is we get rotation, and we're going to have to do it in the same state if we want it to be happening at the same time. So we're going to get rotation of our object, and your angles is destination rotation. I can say that 3 times fast. And I guess we need 2 of those. Oh, we don't have to. I mean, I guess we could always just lerp from whatever. This style works. This one, and this one's going to give us our camera rotation, also world space, and then we want to vector 3 interpolate again. Don't put it at the top, put it at the bottom. And let's see, okay, we have this one going for 1 second. So let's go from camera rotation to destination rotation, but let's go with like 0.7 seconds. So it's a little quicker. Set rotation. And then let's set rotation. Move to the bottom. There we go. We're going to set rotation of camera to set rotation every frame. And now all of a sudden we have holy sweet love of God. That did not take the easiest route to get there. Not at all. Not at all. You know what? I think I'm going to change that rotation system. Well, I'm just going to get rid of those because that was almost comical. So let's just get forward. If you don't have get forward, it's on eco. You can also just change a vector into just get forward. It's just easier. So our object, and that's going to be That's going to be the camera rotation. That's pretty much what it is. And then let's smooth look at direction. Let's see if this one runs a little nicer for us. So we want the camera. Oh, whoop, nope, son of a. That guy. To look at camera rotation, more or less mimic the rotation. Don't worry about vertical speed. We'll try 10. Now, if you use the quaternions, the rotation thing works a lot smoother. Well, that's not bad. That kind of works. A little fast on the movement, though, I think. So let's just slow that down a tiny bit. All right, let's go. Let's try 2. Let's get crazy with this. Right now, when we get there, we want stuff to happen, and of course, as we're traveling, we want stuff to happen too. Right, but I'll get to that in a second. So here we have on the interplate, we are at position. Oh yeah, now we're at the position. Cool. Now what? Well, now we can mouse look, and we're going to do it on our camera again, and we'll do maybe a 2 and a -2, so it's a little slower. You could adjust all these as well. Maybe that doesn't have quite as much range. But I won't play with that too much. I mean, if you want to play with that, you fly out and play with it. So the other thing we need to happen though is, so we have this one. So it's stopped doing anything, right? The screen display can actually keep functioning. The other thing we need is the effects, right? So for example, we come into here and we send those events, and then we're transporting, and then we're there. We have these kind of 2 steps, right? So here we have camera travel. And I can say here, and then we have a camera control. And there we go. And if you have shaders, I mean, you can do all sorts of funky stuff with that. So over here, we're going to send another event. Paste. And now we're going to go to effects and do camera travel. I'm actually just going to copy this, bring it over here, and do camera control. But I also want to fade in. Camera fade in. I'm going to add that just and it's just going to be a quick little blip just to help signify that it's like bloop, something's changed, right? So now with that said, we can do a few different things here. For example, let's add post processing layer, add post-processing volume, add post-processing volume. Let's just mark those as global. Well, they don't have to be, but whatever. So we're going to put this on a layer. I'm going to use FSX, and here we have one. We'll call it new, and I'm going to call this one camera travel. Let's go over here. Now let's go new, and let's call this camera control. All right, so on camera control, what kind of effects do we want? We want probably a bit of a color grading, right? Saturation and contrast. We can bring the saturation down, contrast up a bit. Close that. We can also add a grain, give it some intensity, maybe even some size. Well, not that much size. That's probably pretty decent. And I think this will probably look good on it as well. Not so much in a circle, but in a square, yes. Right, because it kind of gives you that square edges. I mean, that might be a little too much for... where am I here? Oh, whoops, I'm on the wrong... There we go. It's like, what the hell? Where'd everything go? Like, it doesn't need to be crazy, just a little bit. Let's bring this size down. But let's bring the intensity down just a little bit. We don't want to go too nuts with that. You want enough there so you can see it. Then I'm going to bring the saturation up just a little. Like I want it the black and white, but I still want just that where you can almost see the color, but you can't. Yeah, somewhere in there. That's probably just me being, you know, completely insane. So the other thing is the contrast, right? So the contrast, like no contrast, is, well, you can do a bunch of different things, but to me, like that looks fine. And you can almost uncontrast it and you kind of have a nice effect too. But I almost think a darker contrast kind of gives a really nice effect to it. So anyways, that is, you know, while we're in control. Ba-doop. So let's shrink that one. And this guy, where are we? This one here is when we're traveling. So we could probably do some motion blur. This one's hard to see when we're in this, but what else? We could probably do probably some insane ambient occlusion, like just driving right up and going all crazy. And you know what? I'm also going to give it a color. I'm going to give it like a hue, darker hue like that. Then I also want to do color grading. And the color grading itself, I'm going to put a color filter. I want it to kind of have that bit of a color effect too. I don't know if I want to have and what else could we do? Lens distortion maybe. for now. It's something. All right, so now we have these two kind of things happening, right? Oh, I'm gonna open this up so I can see which ones they are. I just don't want these open. And if you don't have post-processing, it's just go to your package manager and get post-processing. So, logic-wise, for the effects, if we have camera travel, all we want to do is interpolate say from 0 to 1 over, oh god, 0.25 seconds. And this can be travel, we'll just use T, and down here, that's camera control. I want this one. I'm just going to set property on him for the weight to T every frame. And camera control, I want to set property on the weight and do 0. I want to make sure he's zeroed out. Now, with that said, I'm going to actually copy all of those, copy and paste them over here. And now I'm going to take two of those. Yeah, I mean, we don't have to interpolate one of them, but let's go from 1 to 0 and do T, but then go 0 to 1 and do C for control. So T, and then this guy can now be C. All right, so we come up here, we'll hold down H, we do our hacking. All right, so let's go in here. So on the effects, the camera travel, let's go a little longer than that. Let's go 0.5. Make sure he's 0. Again, I'm gonna go 0.5 here, 0.5 there. I think half a second would be fine. But we also have, oh, the camera fades up in this guy, I think that's where I put it. Yeah, okay. Okay. That works. Now, keep in mind, we're at 1.2 for position, right? What happens if we want to come out of that hacking? All right, so we would need another event here. We'll call this 0. So if we get 0, we want to go from 1 to 0, T, and use T, and that's fine, just like that. And we want here, what button we want for hacking. So we could have multiple things here, right? We could go, wow, where's my camera? Get out of the 2D mode. Let's duplicate this one. Let's stick this one, I don't know, up here or something. Oh my god, this freaking building is tall. Not really what I was planning on doing, but hey, might be too tall. It will go down a little bit, I suppose. All right, so this one, we'll call it the high cam. So now while we're here, can I see that one? It might be too far. Oh, I can't even move my mouse up that high. It's locked. So we hack this one. We come up to here. That needs to happen a little quicker, that swap. But yeah, see, now we have high cab. And if I can't press H here. That part doesn't let me do shit all. Okay, you know what? The other thing I think I'm gonna do here is these positions are screwing me up. Because we're going to this camera and we're going right to the base of it. That's kind of annoying. So I think I'm just going to pull that back and down so that this anchor point's here, so our camera can sit there, compared to, now they might have moved now, but it'll look better. It will. So how do we fix all of that? So here we have hacking, right? So we're over here, we've gone here. Now we could do more or less this same thing. Copy, paste, right? We're here and we hack. So we would do almost that same thing. Yeah, because we're getting our position, so we can actually literally do that same thing. But if there's nothing to hack, we don't want to go back here if we're coming from here. You know, so I'm just going to copy this state and go like this. And if it's nothing to hack, I can go back here. If there is, then we can go here. Okay. So now we have so we come along, we hack. That time's almost a little long now. All right, so there we go. I can now move around camera to camera. But like I said, I don't like that tiny little delay on the effects there. Right, when this is going, and we have that time, well, the time's fine, but when we come here, that might, I wonder if it's the fade time. Move that to the bottom. Move that to the top. See if that affects it. If not, there's other things we can do too, but now we're also going to need a way to stop the whole hacking process, and I guess come back to our body as well. No, it's still kind of delaying. Oh, I hit H and there's nothing there, so that's right now. That's one of those things that we need to build right now. It's because if we're back here, we're not in the control of various things. So we need to have that control. Because if we get nothing to... Oh, is Hacker global? No. Okay, good. Thought it was for a minute. Kind of curious on how I got back here, though. Oh, because we stopped it and it came back this way. Yeah, you know what? We almost need to duplicate that one too, though. Come to think of it. Just because of that. Right? Because if we complete, we go here. If we stop, we go here. And here, if there's something there, we can go to this one. If it's complete, we can go there. But stop, we can go here. Because here we get all the right positions and we move the right way. We just don't have to change anything else. But we still need a way to stop. So I don't know. Maybe we'll use T. Get button T down. Get key down. Or maybe, I guess I can't use S for stop because it's there. Let's use Y because it's above the H. And that's stop. Right, and if we stop, we can just go there. Oh, what the hell? We have two stops? Oh. Well then. Paint me blue. So if we stop, we're going to go, well no, we would need a way to return back to our original selves, right? So we almost need to do this, no, not everything, but these two things, right? If that's what we're doing, because we want to go, we send event, because now we want to travel. This is still fine. It's not going to hurt nothing. Camera travel. We get position of our destination, but now we don't have that. What we do have is we get position of nothing, and that's our destination. And we get a position of the camera, and we interpolate from, oh, what did I just do? But we're not going to the destination. We're going to a 1.2 because that's where we go. But now we're not going to set position world space. We're going to go self space, which means we'll probably have to change this also to self. And we can get forward direction, which really doesn't matter, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know. Like, you can't really get the forward direction of the capsule, so I guess that part doesn't matter. And we're at position, we can go here. Oh, and once we're, of course, we're there, I guess we got to give control back to our movement and stuff, right? Because we have hacking, and we have the 0, and we have, where the fuck's our move? There's our move. So we have hacked, and then we're going to have some sort of returned. Because now we can go from here. Let's go to a new state. Let's not screw around these other states. And send event to move that we have returned. But we also want to send an event to our effects, telling them to 0. All right, let's go. let's see how that one is, shall we? All right, so let's go. We see that. We hold down H. It's still a little fast. And we come into there. We can go up to here now. Zip into there. We're now looking around here. And if I push Y, we come back to our body and we can move around again. Pretty snazzy. Right now, the only thing is it would look a little nicer with a shader, right? Now I tried to actually get a shader and it wouldn't work for me. It was giving me a pile of errors. Not too sure what the hell that was about. But I mean, I've got my own shaders here that I don't know if I have anything here in this project, but because one of the other things that you could always add as well is a nice little panel, and you know, have a. I really don't have a design for this, but if you have a camera image, like when you're looking through a camera, it says like record at the bottom, and you get the box thing happening, then it looks pretty cool and it's easy to add. I'm trying to see if I have anything that would even remotely look like it. At all. I'm not seeing much for what I have in here anyways. Alright, well, let's pretend this one's that. Right, this could be your camera thing, and then it's just a matter of, you know, we hit camera control, you know, this thing turns on. Copy, we hit travel, paste before he turns off, we hit 0, whoops. Hi. Paste before he turns off. Just an easy way to do that. So one of the things I want to do to fix this, right? Because it has that we're in camera control, and it always seems to be firing late. I think what I'll do is I'm going to take this out, because we know this guy's going to take 2 seconds. Okay, keep that in mind. What if I just did this? 1.75, go to a finish. There. Something like that. That should make that a little snappier. Snapperoo. Oh. Not quite snappy enough though, is it? Right there. It should be going in. It's like a half a second too slow. So, how do we fix that? Like that. All right. Make sure that's good. My poor little canvas image of the camera is just not good. But it's something. It's there. All right, that's not bad. It's almost a little fast there now, but you get the idea and how you can get it and change it. And that's just on the cameras. There's other things we could do, right? I think I'm gonna probably, I'm not going to go too far into that at all, but all right, because we have H and we come along and we check for something, and then we get the child and we have the hacking timers. That's cool, and maybe that's all we need. But when we complete, here we're stating that we're just going to go there, right? We don't necessarily have to. These things could have options in them, right, on what they do. So when we complete, we could actually grab the option from here and say, maybe that, like maybe it's just a string, right, where it says, you know, camera. Okay, well, if string says camera, go here. But if string says explode, you know, we're going to do some other logic. So it comes pretty easy. You can extend it pretty simple. But I think that's probably good enough. Just kind of get anyone going on that might need that. Yeah.